Don't wait another day. Call 800-539-5094 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, or other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-539-5094. 800-539-5094. 800-539-5094.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The new Lux Cravings Box from Taco Bell with cheesy, crunchy favorites, chips and nacho cheese sauce, and a drink for just $7. Try it today at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time. While supplies last, price of participation vary. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Do you need your home repiped? Having trouble with your water heater? Leaking toilet? Have you ever thought about an instant recorded seweroscopy? Then call Economy Plumbing Service at 885-3510. Because if water goes through it or to it, we do it. Economy Plumbing, 885-3510.
Cactus RV and Marine. Visit their original location on Romero North of Prince during I-10 construction or cactusrv.com.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. You're listening to the home of the best coverage of your Arizona Cardinals and the NFL. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
Wait, what's the CNWT?
Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
David Amata.
Hey, that's Dragon Ball to you.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but three first names, David Scott Kelly.
It is Football Thursday in America. I say Football Thursday because, of course, we've got the National Football League tonight, but we also have some high school football happening around the state of Arizona. More Thursday games. We've kind of discussed that and what that's all about. We don't have as many referees as we'd like here in the state of Arizona, so we're playing some games on Thursday night, and we'll go over what games are happening. Micah Mountain is home tonight, one of the better teams you're going to find in Southern Arizona. We'll give you the full slate of games. Of course, we are going to be back out on the road tomorrow night because it's Thursday, and if it's Thursday, that means it's almost Friday night. We'll be at Canyon Del Oro High School on Friday night for Amphi at CDO. Looking forward to talking to the Dorados. Hopefully we'll be able to get some of the Panthers in there as well for all of that. But NFL Thursday Night Football coming up for you, 4:30, so short show today. 3 to 4:30, we will be with you. New England Patriots at the New York Jets at 4:30. Coverage begins. Kickoff slated for 5:15 tonight. Aaron Rodgers looking for his second win in a row, and the Patriots got off to a fast start, winning in week 1, but took it on the chin in week 2. So both of these teams coming in with records of 1-1. It is also Wildcat Thursday night in America, or at least here in Southern Arizona. But it is Wildcat country pretty much everywhere you go. We got our folks all over the country. We've got Arizona volleyball at home tonight. The ladies will take on North Dakota State. That is a 6 o'clock first serve at McHale Center. 9-0 on the season, looking to go to 10-0. You'll hear from head coach Charita Stubbs coming up within the next hour and a half, as well as outside hitter Jordan Wilson from the Phoenix area. She started her career at USC, decided that was not for her, and came back to the homestead here in State 48 to play for Charita Stubbs and the Arizona Wildcats, and is really one of the top players on this team that has surged to 1 win past their total win total for last year when they won just 8 times, already 9 this season. Also, it is soccer night for your Arizona Wildcats. The ladies are on the road for Big 12 game number 2, taking on the Baylor Bears. So we'll have an opportunity to hear from Nicole Dallin, as well as we heard for the first time today from Toby Awaka, one of the transfer big men for your Arizona men's basketball team. So we will check in with Toby as well to see what he had to say. We also want to hear what you have to say. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We will have your quick Diamondbacks download coming up this hour as well, because they've got a game in the Central Time Zone in Milwaukee that gets underway here in a little over an hour. So we'll get you set for that as well. The first of a 4-game set with the Milwaukee Brewers, and we'll update you on where things stand in the National League wildcard race as the Diamondbacks are trying to solidify their position in the postseason with now just 10 games remaining. The big question in the West right now is, will the Padres catch the Los Angeles Dodgers, the red-hot Padres, who are now to within 3.5 games of L.A., but again, with just 10 games left to play. Dragon Ball, I understand the Dodgers are playing right now.
Dodgers are playing right now against Miami, currently finishing up that series for the rubber match, and we are still on Ohtani 50-50 watch. He just got his 50th steal of the season. He is 2 home runs shy of being the first player to ever hit the 50-50 mark in MLB history.
He was the first player to hit the 44-44 mark.
Right.
So everything he does, just for the record, is already a record.
It's a first.
Nobody had ever done 44 steals and 44 home runs in a season, and now he's almost at the 50-50 mark.
And he's got 9 games left to do it, too, not counting this one that he has right now still underway.
All right, I can tell you what's happened today already. Obviously, we're keeping an eye on the Braves because the Braves were kind of, they're lingering right there just outside of the National League wild card. And the Braves have already played today, and they won 15-3 behind Chris Sale, who is now 18 wins on the season. What a season he has had, bouncing back to be one of the best pitchers in the game. 18-3 with a 238 earned run average. Now it's Chris Sale. 15-3, the Braves win. So currently the Braves, though, because that's 2 wins in a row now for them. They are, because they won last night as well. They had lost a couple in a row, but they've now won 2 straight with the quick turnaround from a night game to a day game. They are sitting a game and a half now behind the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks and the Mets head into action tonight, tied for that second wild card spot at 84 and 68. A couple other finals. You mentioned that Dodger game. They're actually leading the Marlins right now 7-1. No other games involving teams involved in the National League, but the Guardians won. So,
and official playoff
yes.
berth here.
Yes. Is that a playoff clincher, I believe,
Yep,
right?
that's a playoff clincher.
Woo! Cleveland, you're going to have an October to remember, as we like to say. That's awesome. So that's just clinching the position in the playoffs. Still a few games left to go to wrap up the Central Division. We have a number of teams. The Brewers. How about Pat Murphy? Pat Murphy, the former head coach at the rival Arizona State, and the former manager of the Tucson Padres back in the day when we had AAA baseball still here in Tucson. I believe he was the Tucson Padres manager for 2 of their 3 seasons here, if I'm not mistaken. He took over the Milwaukee Brewers. I think this is his 3rd season with the Milwaukee Brewers, and he has got them in the playoffs as the National League Central Division champions. I always liked Pat Murphy. Did a lot of, obviously, Tucson Padres coverage when they were here for those 3 seasons, and he was managing that club, always welcoming the media into his clubhouse, and just a good guy. I always root for Pat Murphy. Spent 14 years at the school up north, making our lives miserable, and then obviously got out of college baseball, got into professional baseball, maybe only 1 year. Looks like he managed here 2013. So I think that was the last season, 2013. And then he went with the team when they left to go to El Paso in 14 and 15. So, again, a guy that's been around baseball for a long time, and just one of those dudes that it's just, I like the term, you hear it a lot. He's just a good baseball man, Pat Murphy. And he has led his Milwaukee Brewers to the National League Central Division Championship. Good for him. So they're in. Now we'll wait to see who else is in. So all right now, it's the Yankees, I believe, are in. The Yankees have got a spot. The Guardians have a spot. The Brewers have a spot. Those are the three teams, but the Brewers are the only ones that have actually clinched a division. They have an 11-game lead in the National League Central. The Cubs kind of have faded. The Cardinals have kind of faded. Well, the Cardinals won 3 in a row, but they faded before that. So that's where we stand right now in terms of Major League Baseball as we hit this final week and a half of games to decide who are going to be the teams fighting in October for the World Series championship. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. U of A football bye week. We may also get you into, we haven't talked much about what Brent Brennan had to say at his press conference earlier this week. There were a couple things I would like to continue to get into those. If we don't get into those today, we'll get into them tomorrow in terms of some of the questioning we had for Brent early in this week and some of the things that were going to be happening in this bye week. So we may get into that a little bit later as we go along as well. So looking forward to that. And also, don't forget, Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge. We will have the call out for that coming up for you here in about 10 minutes. 10 minutes. I'll pick the game. Can you pick the winner? Maybe I'll let somebody here on the staff pick the game. Maybe I'll let you and J-Dub can fight for it. If you guys think you know a good game.
There's a couple of good ones on here, but a lot of it is that there's a lot of teams that should be good that haven't shown their capabilities as of yet. Although I will say I will definitely avoid the 49ers game because we don't know how many players are going to actually be able to suit up for San Francisco this week. You just had George Kittle and Charvarius Ward also go down with injuries in practice this week for them. So that may be a practice squad team going into that Sunday matchup against the Rams.
Both those teams are hurt. The 49ers are hurt. The Rams are hurt. There's not a lot of marquee guys I think going to be playing on either side of that coming up, especially obviously no Christian McCaffrey still. But you got Brock Purdy, and you got Sam Sam Bradford? Is that the quarterback for the Rams?
Matthew
Stafford. Thank you. I was getting Matthew Stafford and Sam Bradford mixed
up. Get my Staffords and my Bradfords.
Exactly. They kind of look the same. They kind of play the same. And don't forget, Sunday Night Football, it's the Bijan Robinson Show. Once again, we'll have Sunday Night Football coming up for you. The Chiefs and the Falcons. Bijan was on our airwaves Monday night when the Falcons went into Philadelphia and upset the Eagles. 32 carries so far this season, 165 yards for Bijan Robinson. A solid first 2 games for the South Point Catholic grad in the National Football League. They're 1-1 heading into that game against the Chiefs, who are 2-0, having won at the buzzer on Sunday over the Cincinnati Bengals. So I'll pick the game, or maybe Dragon Ball will pick the game, and you will pick the winner. And if you pick the winner, you get a gift card for $25, courtesy of Miller Lite. If you do not pick the winner, then you get still prizes. You get a prize pack from Miller Lite, and there's always some really cool stuff in the prize pack, so that's a pretty nice win for you as well. But the money turns over
if someone
next
doesn't
week.
Pick correctly.
Yeah,
it turns over.
The money
last year we had like
over.
5 consecutive weeks where people picked wrong.
Yeah,
and it got up to be like $125.
Yeah, somebody had a really good day. Somebody had a really good day for sure. So, but it'll be 25. Just we've had winners the first 2 weeks, and so it'll only be $25 this week. But if you lose, it goes up to $50 for the person next week. So there you have it.
Real quick before we get out of the segment, you mentioned Chris Sale close to 20. I had to look it up because we're in the era of mid-relief, right? We're in the era of like pitch counts and all that. 14 pitchers in the last 10 years, guys, have had 20 wins or more for both leagues combined. 14 in the last 10 years.
Wow.
I mean, I remember my coming up in the 70s, 80s, 90s. It seemed like it was the tail end of those guys who were throwing 150 pitches, and 20 just seemed, 20 was you had to get at least 20 if you wanted to be in the Cy Young conversation, right? and we're past that. So anybody even sniffing that number clearly is, what'd you say? He was the closest to a person going to be throwing a no-hitter every time he goes out?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a good, that's a nice pickup. That's a nice pickup for them to get a guy like that to keep them in contention, because they've done it, and they lost their best pitcher. Was it Stricker at the beginning of the year? And so they still have been able to put themselves in a position to potentially make the postseason without their best pitcher, or the guy that you thought was going to be at the top of their rotation at the beginning of the year. So, but when you got a guy like Chris Sale with a bounce back year like that, that is pretty good for sure. All right, much more straight ahead. We will dive into Arizona soccer. You'll hear from Nicole Dallin. We'll give you what game, our Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge. We'll put the call number out there. So get ready to dial, because that is coming up after cricket gets you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions that are reported, Camino Seco south of Old Spanish Trail, El Camino del Cerro west of I-10. And some busy traffic southbound Swanwick Grant, also westbound Grant Road at Alvernon. 93 tomorrow, 86 Saturday, 92 on Sunday, 94 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's knows it's easier to make the right calls when you have the right team. Download the Lowe's app to get your home improvement playbook in your hands so you can get their team's expertise anytime. Download the Lowe's app to find what you need today.
Remember, if you listen to the Jim Rome Show, you were listening to 1290.
It's on the up and up. It's all straight, and that's how that is.
Tucson's home of the Jim Rome Show. He's also your home of the NFL. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Is he okay?
Ron, did you get hit on the head?
What? Oh, no. I was just reminiscing.
Here comes a story.
I was 5 or 6. A scruffy little ragamuffin, I was.
A scruffy? What are you, Charles Dickens?
Mama just wanted to comfort me.
Mama?
Comfort. It's why we started Alaskan AC, you know?
We know.
I was being a fuss budget. Golly, I was a scoundrel.
Get to the point.
These were the early days at Alaskan AC, see?
See.
It's a fun place to work at Alaskan AC.
Ron.
We don't take ourselves too seriously.
We literally just came up with the new Alaskan AC jingle last month.
What? Who's that? Who's there? Is it you, Mama?
Oh, boy.
Yes, Ronnie, it's Mama.
Did your little Ron Bon make you proud?
Every day, dear.
Why did I even come to work today?
Because...
it's a fun place to work at Alaskan AC. We don't take ourselves too seriously.
AlaskanAC.com.
Do you trust those in charge of your financial future? Trust is founded on 3 core principles: competence, honesty, and benevolence. Those making decisions about your financial future should always place your best interest ahead of their own. I'm Natalie Fernandez-Lee, and at Meridian Wealth Management, fostering trusted relationships with our clients is our top priority. Call us at 719-1433 or visit meridianwealthllc.com to learn more today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Hey Wildcat fans, Arizona football is here. Catch head coach Brent Brennan as the Wildcats enter their inaugural season of the Big 12 Conference. We need you to be part of the action, filling the stands and cheering on Arizona. Secure your seats for all 7 home games with season tickets, or pick the plan that is best for you by calling the ticket office at 520-621-2287 or visiting ArizonaWildcats.com/FB. Lock in your tickets today. We'll see you at Arizona Stadium. Bear down. Go Cats!
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Wildcats Radio 1290 presents Rocktoberfest at Union Public House on Saturday, September 21st. Join us for a night of delicious beer, bratwurst, and music from the dirt. Show off your strength at the Stein Hoisting Contest and eat your way through the Brat Eating Contest. It's Rocktoberfest at Union Public House on Saturday, September 21st, presented by Wildcats Radio 1290. More info at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Don't miss a minute of the best Arizona Wildcats coverage in town. Tell Alexa, play Wildcats Radio 1290. This is your home of Arizona football, men's basketball, and baseball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. In the long history of terrible situations, the quarterback situation in Carolina's got to be right up there. It is bad, it is bleep, it is jacked up, and it's true. From the top to the bottom. That's how you get that level of mess that they're in right now with Bryce Young, a.k.a. the dude that they traded up to get with the number 1 pick. Less than 18 months later, they have pulled the plug on this guy. Seemingly, he's got no future in Carolina. Seemingly, he may not have a future anywhere else. So, what do the Panthers have to say about this? Well, their head coach, Dave Canales, for one thing, says that everything's great. Our quarterback situation is great. He literally called it a, quote, great situation. Hey, coach, if by great situation you mean one of the worst situations ever, then sure, coach, you have a great situation. Yeah, and I'm the man on the moon. Football season is here, and Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action while watching football. The app is really simple to use. Pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your money. Download the Prize Picks app right now and use the code ROME and get a $50 credit instantly when you play $5. That's code ROME on Prize Picks to get a $50 credit instantly when you play $5. Prize Picks, run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
O'Reilly. You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
My fantasy football team might be 0-2, but at least I got this guy.
So from 2nd down and 9, it's now 2nd and 24. The ball back at the 28. Texans moving left to right. Stroud lines up in the gun. He's got 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. Stroud gets the snap. He's back to pass. Blitz coming. Gets picked up. Throws down the middle. Collins has it. Inside the 10. Inside the 5. Collins in the end zone. Touchdown, Texans.
Nico Collins, 14 catches already this season for the 2-0 Texans. 252 yards, 1 touchdown. Unfortunately, he hurt his hip in that game, and he's been limited this week. He did not practice yesterday, but he was back at practice today in a limited capacity. Let's see what it says. It says it bodes well for his chances to be available Sunday against the Vikings. That is a good thing. The Texans and the Vikings, that is the one of 2 battles this week that includes 2-0 teams. All right, it is time for our Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge. I pick the game, or in this case, I'm going to hand those duties off to one Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is going to pick the game. Can you pick the winner? caller number 1 right now, 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. We're taking caller number 1 right now for a chance at the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge. Dragon Ball is going to pick the game. Can you pick the winner? A $25 gift card for Miller Lite is on the line right now. And again, I mentioned Dragon Ball, 2 games on the docket involving 2 and 0 teams. No games on the docket involving 0 and 2 teams. But how about Sam Darnold so far for the Vikings?
Well, that's the scary part about this. This Viking team was supposed to be in developing. They were supposed to go ahead and be a squad that was on the outside looking in a lot of situations. But Sam Darnold has proven to actually have a little bit of that spark that made guys want to go ahead and take him in the first round when he came out of USC a couple years back. Not to mention, it makes your job so much easier when you've got a guy like Justin Jefferson on the field with you. But much like the Texans, the Vikings also have some wide receiver concerns because Justin Jefferson has that quad issue right now. He's still questionable for that game.
We had to run all those yards on that touchdown.
Well, they had to outrace the referee to get there, too.
How about that guy?
That referee was on a blitz,
he was
man.
moving.
He was going. But not only is Nico Collins questionable for that game, though, DK, it's also Joe Mixon, the running back they got from Cincinnati this offseason. He's questionable right now with an ankle injury. So it'll be a big question mark as to what the skill positions look like for both of these squads. I really am interested to see what the Texans defense can do because that Texans defense could be a top 5 unit in the league this year with how well they've been playing the first 2 games. As for the other 2-0 team matchup that you got later on this week, you've got the Chargers going to the Steelers. It'll be the Steelers' home opener. They've had 2 games on the road, only scored a single touchdown, and they managed to come out with 2 wins on the season. Don't know how that happens, but as they say, Steelers football will continue until morale improves. So it's going to be all heartbreak and heart attack. That's all it ever is. But the Chargers so far have actually had a pretty decent season to start with. The only difference of this season has been that it's not so much Mr. Herbert that's the one really doing the damage for the Chargers offensively. Justin Herbert right now, only 3 touchdowns through 2 weeks. And he's only thrown about 274 yards in each of his 2 games that he's had, in both the games that he's had so far. So it's not a passing game right now for the Chargers offense. So it'll be interesting to see how those 2 teams match up as well. As for a couple other squads that could be pretty interesting to watch, you've got the Packers and the Titans. This could be the Malik Willis Revenge Bowl if they don't clear Jordan Love to play. Jordan Love's already said that he looks like he might be okay to play in this game. I don't know how well I want to believe that. That knee looked really bad in Sao Paulo. You need to rest the franchise. Don't rush him out. But to Tennessee, they have a lot of questions at quarterback themselves. Is Will Levis actually the guy?
What's the over-under on Will Levis flinging another interception, like from falling to the ground?
Backhanded or underhanded, backwards. Right. It's not looking good. But that could be an intriguing game just to see which quarterback really decides to show themselves, considering Malik Willis already has a win after his performance last week for the Pack.
All right, we're looking for Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge is open right now. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number if you want to get in on the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge. Dragon Ball is going to pick the game. Can you pick the winner? A $25 gift card is on the line. In fact, that Packers-Titans game, that is one of our 5-star plays this week, courtesy of BetQL. BetQL, the folks over there are saying take the under on that game at 37.5.
37.5 with these 2 quarterbacks. I would definitely take the under on that for sure. To say the least, I would say that's a safe bet.
All right. Is it Lisa? We have Lisa. You're on DK. I'm sorry. It is Daniel. Daniel, you're on DK on the Sports Tip, Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge. Daniel, how are you?
Doing good.
Outstanding. All right, Daniel, are you ready? Dragon Ball is going to pick the game. Can you pick the winner?
All right, Daniel, I'm going to ask you. I've got the 0-2 Baltimore Ravens with the reigning MVP Lamar Jackson going into Dallas to take on the very newly minted highest paid player in the league in Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. Who do you have in that particular contest?
Give me the Ravens.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
He's going to take the Ravens.
I've seen the Cowboys fall in 2 weeks.
The Ravens have not. I mean, the Cowboys, they'd won 18 straight home games before they got pounced by the Saints.
Hold on. They won 18 straight regular season games.
They've
lost 2 straight games at home if you count that playoff game.
All right. Okay. Fair enough.
It may not be a good place for them at home right now. So Daniel, you'll go ahead and you'll take the Ravens to add to another chapter in the Cowboys' home misery as the season opens up.
I'll take Lamar all day.
What's your team, Daniel?
I'm a Ravens fan.
Oh, you're a Ravens fan.
Okay, perfect.
All right, well, there you go. How did that happen?
I just became a fan of him watching Lamar all these years playing.
Okay, so you're a recent Ravens fan then.
Yep.
Who'd you follow before that?
I was still a Ravens fan. I was huge into
you
Ray
go back
Lewis
to Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and all those guys?
Yep.
There you go. Joe Flacco, and who's the quarterback before Flacco?
That would be Kyle Bowler.
Trent Dilfer.
Trent Dilfer, Kyle Bowler. There was a
that
couple
tells
other
you they've played some really good defense over the years.
There was Mr. Banks there for a while there too, if I'm not mistaken.
There you go. All right. Well, Daniel, hang on the line. JW Madden is going to get your information, and you'll have a chance to win a $25 gift card. If you do not win, you'll still get a prize pack, and the money rolls over to the next lucky person next week. That game's on Fox. I'll have to see if we get that game locally here, but enjoy it.
All right.
Daniel, appreciate your call. All right, that is one game, and Dragon Ball obviously mentioned his boys playing in one of the other 2-0 games. Justin Herbert already this season, 274 yards and 3 touchdown passes on the year. And let's see, we got I think this is going to be, if this is a game involving 1-1 teams, but we talked about it yesterday, the Lions at the Cardinals, especially after what the Cardinals did last week and putting up 41 points on the Rams, best game ever by Kyler Murray. I'm still trying to figure out what I saw him do out there on that field last Sunday. I mean, again, because I've not been a Kyler Murray fan in the least, but if he continues to play like that, I could become a Kyler Murray fan real quick, and they are underdogs at home in this game to the Detroit Lions -3.
I think that this game is going to be determined based on the young receivers for both sides because, again, we just had the Marvin Harrison Jr. breakout game for the Cardinals in the last contest where he had those 2 touchdown catches in the first half and dominated the Rams defensively. This season for the Lions, on the other hand, they're finally getting to see a little bit of that talent that they expected out of Jameson Williams, the wide receiver out of Alabama that they drafted in the first round. He had been pretty quiet the first couple years in the league, really taking a big step back to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, all of a sudden, he's got 200 yards already on the season through 2 games, and he's their leading receiver with a touchdown, the only passing touchdown that's been collected by the Lions so far this year. So really look forward to seeing what the 2 young receivers do in this contest could potentially be 2 NFC championship contenders this season.
That'll be interesting. All right, so and I gave you the under. I gave you our 5-star play is the under in the Packers game. We'll give you some more of the BetQL 5-star plays coming up involving college football and NFL football as we go along this week. We'll let you know how that is all going. All right, 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We had a chance to hear from Toby Awaka today, one of the newest members of the Arizona men's basketball team. He's a transfer from the University of Tennessee. So we're going to hear from Toby coming up at around 3:40 or so. So stay with us. About 8 minutes from now, you will hear from Toby Awaka. Don't forget, again, U of A volleyball is home tonight against North Dakota State. That is a 6 o'clock first serve, I should say, at the McHale Center. 6 o'clock first serve. Arizona and North Dakota State. The ladies are 9-0 on the season. In the 4 o'clock hour, as we head out of the show today, we'll hear from Charita Stubbs, the head coach in her second season, and Jordan Wilson, the outstanding outside hitter for the Arizona Wildcats, as they have, again, A surprising start to this season, but a pleasant start to this season for the Arizona Wildcats as they are undefeated. Also, Arizona soccer on the road tonight. That is a 5 o'clock start at Baylor. It'll be their second Big 12 game. They lost last week 1-0 to Utah. Apparently, Becca Moros is sick of the 1-0 games against Utah. There have been a few over the years. That's been a tough opponent for the Arizona Wildcats, and they'll get some more this weekend, but we'll find out kind of where they are after they take this trip to Baylor tonight and TCU on Sunday. Again, it'll be Thursday, Sunday will kind of be the format this year in terms of soccer in this new Big 12 setup. In terms of soccer, they'll play Thursday games and Sunday games for the most part. So an extra day off, because in the past, obviously, with the Pac-12, it was Friday, Sunday. And it was Friday night, Sunday day turnaround. So the ladies now in the Big 12 getting that extra 24 hours of recovery. And I think that's just going to make for better soccer, frankly, especially out here, some of these games here in southern Arizona, where you got to play Friday night and it's probably still relatively warm, and then you got to turn around in some of these September games and play at 11:30 at noon on a Sunday when it's close to 100 degrees. And I always, again, it's never easy, especially in a sport like soccer where you're running up and down the field, to have to turn around and come back that quickly. So I think we're going to see much better soccer now in the Big 12 with that extra day of
Merle
rest.
has some issues with cramping. I mean, you turn around real quick. You got to eat a lot of bananas if you're going to be turning around that fast.
75, 80 minutes worth of running. Yeah, no, I'd be absolutely needing the potassium.
One of my favorite
pill.
things, like 20 years ago, they put, when they first had GPS, they put it on some of the guys on the teams, you know, like Xavi, like back in the
Xavi,
day. Yeah, those guys. And they would, something ridiculous, like Steph Curry apparently runs 8 miles per game, that whole thing.
There you go. All right, getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather. Here's Cricket.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Some slowdowns for travel that's headed southbound I-19 frontage road at Irvington, on Speedway westbound at I-10 and westbound Grant Road at I-10, and collisions reported Sahuarita Road west of Country Club and a collision on Sandario at Barnett. 93 tomorrow, 86 Saturday, and 92 on Sunday, and 94 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Bullfrog Spas. It's Bullfrog Spa's big factory sale, this weekend only at the Pima County Fairgrounds in Tucson. Factory certified clearance, scratch and dent, even new hot tubs and swim spas as low as 50% off. Hurry in while the deals last.
What do you do after celebrating 100 years in Tucson serving the community? Well, you get up the next morning and continue to do things that got you to the next 100 years.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Look for a low-scoring slugfest in the Music City. I'm Sammy P, here to help you beat the books with BetQL. Green Bay leaned on their running attack in the home win over Indianapolis. Now they try to do the same in Tennessee. The 0-2 Titans looking for their first win, and the BetQL model thinks this will be a low-scoring affair. BetQL under 38, a 5-star best bet. I'm Sammy P. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetQL and BetMGM apps today.
Paramount Plus is once again your home to stream the NFL on CBS. Follow all the action and stream your live local NFL on CBS game every Sunday, all the way through the AFC Championship. Sign up, sign in, and start streaming Paramount Plus today.
You are never too old for a family. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is dedicated to finding forever families for children who have been waiting in foster care the longest. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Hey, Wildcat fans, Arizona football is here. Catch head coach Brent Brennan as the Wildcats enter their inaugural season of the Big 12 Conference. We need you to be part of the action, filling the stands and cheering on Arizona. Secure your seats for all 7 home games with season tickets, or pick the plan that is best for you by calling the ticket office at 520-621-2287 or visiting ArizonaWildcats.com/FB. Lock in your tickets today. We'll see you at Arizona Stadium. Bear down. Go Cats.
In a world of chaos and high inflation, where savings are rare.
Just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I think something is happening.
There's only one place that can save you up to 40% off your favorite tobacco products. Tobacco Barn. Tobacco Barn. Woo! In quest to unlock the key to savings, Tobacco Barn embarks upon the ultimate adventure to charge no city or state sales tax because they're on the reservation, and to save up to $3 off with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
This is not a joke.
When savings are stolen by the evil of other high-priced tobacco stores, there's only one powerful enough to resist city and state sales taxes, plus save you up to $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com. Tobacco Barn. Tobacco Barn. Hooray! And if all else fails, we can always call upon...
I'm Captain Tobacco, at your service.
My hero.
Tobacco Barn, Tucson's most epic adventure in savings. Now showing at Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
Detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever, overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and Trump has also proposed severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control. We'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for President.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Whether you're new to Arizona or you've been driving here for decades, we all share the same roads and the same extreme driving conditions, like extreme Arizona heat, extremely large potholes, some extremely flooded roads, and there's always extremely distracted drivers, pedestrians, and that guy who drives a scooter backwards into oncoming traffic. You're driving in the world's largest video game, stopping, starting, turning, heating up, and cooling down. And that's just your afternoon commute. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 award-winning locations have been helping drivers just like you get home safely for over 60 years with top quality tire brands, no hidden extras, and one low price. Jack Furrier has everything you need to stay in the game, like wheel alignments, batteries, brakes, air conditioning, service at prices that won't break the bank. Ask a neighbor or friend about Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's friendly service, or stop by, make an appointment online, or call ahead to the local's choice. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
This is Jim Rome with a Sports Minute. I'll tell you what, I'm into tonight's primetime matchup. The Jets are playing. And normally I would not be into that, but the Jets are playing, and Aaron Rodgers is making his first appearance in MetLife since a year ago when he showed up and he shredded his Achilles. Aaron himself is going to be hyped up. He even said, I like playing under the lights. Yeah, that and the fact that he's playing in front of the entire nation, all eyes on him. I'm Jim Rome. All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2. Have a plan to get there. Step 3. Make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all three with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports, sponsored by Allstate. The New York Liberty will have home court advantage throughout the WNBA playoffs, which begin next week. With their victory on Tuesday night over the Washington Mystics, New York clinched the league's #1 overall seed for just the second time in team history. Star players Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, and Jonquel Jones have the Liberty poised to win the franchise's first ever championship. They are led by Australian national head coach Sandy Brondello, who knows that home court advantage is just the first step of the team's title pursuit.
Yeah, no, it was important for us. It was one of our goals that we set out, trying to get that home court advantage. Now, obviously, we still have to take care of our business in the playoffs, the first round, second round. I mean, we know it's going to be extremely hard, but getting home court, we have a great, obviously arena. We have great fans, so we want to play in front of our fans as much as we can.
With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Olivia Harlan-Decker on Westwood One.
people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check your sunroof is closed first before driving through the car wash.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, no. Wait, whoa.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Will there be a hangover in Milwaukee when the Diamondbacks face the Brewers here coming up at 4:15?
Estevez is ready and delivers. Swinging and a rocket to right. Base hit. They win. Jake Bauers hit an absolute bullet. Past Harper at first. Jackson Chourio scores the winner. And they're chasing Jake Bauers into center field. They finally caught him. And the celebration now is the game.
We may not have, well, we will have John Sterling, legendary Yankees voice, back for the postseason. And we still get a little bit more Bob Uecker. Nothing better than the golden tones of the legendary Bob Uecker, who actually played baseball in 1941 and is still broadcasting baseball in 2024. Great stuff there. All right, the Brewers are the National League Central champions. Now, that did not actually get them the title. They'd actually won the title earlier in the day when the Cubs lost to the Oakland A's 5-3, but it is their second consecutive division title, third in the last 4 seasons and fourth in the last 7 seasons. First with Pat Murphy as their manager, because Craig Counsell, of course, who still gives me nightmares, left to go coach the rival Cubs. Did not quite work out as well for Craig Counsell. All right, let's hear from Toby Awaka, the newest member of the Arizona Wildcats basketball team. He met the media today at McHale Center.
Toby, how did Arizona end up on your radar?
It was actually weird because Coach Murph had hit me at like midnight on a given day, and from then it was just talks back and forth. And I think the thing that really did it was just how much they showed they wanted me. Coach Murph was blowing up my phone. Coach Lord, we had great conversations back and forth. So I think it was just creating that relationship with the coaches on the staff.
Has there already been any of the other additions announced at that point?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so. I think Trey had committed a little bit beforehand. Now that I'm thinking, but me and him, I talked a little bit beforehand, and he seemed like a great guy. We're really great friends now. So, Murph kind of mentioned how me and him have similar personalities and how we would get along and how sort of our play styles complement each other. So, just taking all that into account, I think that really made me think that Arizona was the right choice.
What is your playing style? How do you think you'll add to the team?
I would say tough, gritty, hard-nosed. Pride myself on rebounding the basketball, playing defense, sort of doing all the little things to help my team win. Obviously, scoring, I'm trying to improve in, being more comfortable making playmaking decisions, things of that nature. So I think that's a good little synopsis,
You kind of had to be that way at Tennessee, right? That's how Coach Barnes preached it?
Yeah. Coach Barnes is definitely heavy on effort, defense, making game-winning plays. So I definitely think that's something he definitely taught me for sure.
Going to be, I mean, are you kind of embracing that for the plan ahead in the Big 12? And, you know, everybody talks about how tough it is, and you lost a couple of big guys. This team did. I mean, just you're going to be one of the focal points really dealing with that.
Yeah, I think it's something that I definitely need to bring to the team to help us win. You know, you have teams like Houston, Kansas. So, you know, being tough on the glass, playing defense, you know, those are all really important things to win in this league.
The Tennessee team that played here in Tucson during the non-conference?
I was.
What do you remember from that night and just playing in McHale and being in that type of environment in that game?
The atmosphere was great. It was a great environment. The fans were really tuned in. It was a really good game. And at that point, I was playing a little bit more, so I got to go up against guys like Ballo and Tubella. So it was definitely a good challenge for me, my freshman year.
What did it feel like when you first got out on McHale wearing an Arizona practice shirt? Did you remember that game? Did it flash back at all to you or anything, or is it totally different?
I would say it was a little different, but I would say just being in Tucson in a new place, it was a little surreal, But at the end of the day, I felt like the guys here really made me feel at home. It kind of felt like I'd already been here a year, just with how smoothly I was able to transition and things like that. So it's definitely been a great experience.
Jay and Bradley, you both come from New York, both come from SEC schools. Did you know him before coming here?
So JB had played on Chris Paul's AAU team, CP3. So I remember playing against him in high school. I was on New York Lightning. He was on CP3. So I sort of heard about him, knew his game. But the fact that, two New York guys are here, I think is pretty cool.
So you mentioned with Trey and JB, or who else? Are you gotten to be good friends with those guys? Anybody else too that you've kind of gotten to know pretty well? So
really, all the guys. Conrad Martinez, great guy, funny dude. Krivas, it's been fun sort of battling with him, during practices and things like that, and just getting to know him. Deli's been great as well. Caleb, KJ, really all the guys. I could speak, great things about them all.
How's the pace been in practice? I imagine this is a little quicker than what you're used to as far as getting up and down the court.
Yeah, I think transition is a big thing. We like to push the ball for sure, and then just within the half-court offense, the bigs are moving a lot. Flashing, setting screens, things like that. So it's definitely gotten some taking used to, But I just feel like with more reps and just sort of listening to the coaches, watching film, I'm getting better day by day.
Any other differences that you noticed along those lines with the system in Tennessee and what you've had to adjust to?
I would say they're similar in the sense that they're big oriented more so. I would say probably here the pace is just a little faster, but I would still say that the foundations are pretty similar.
I hear you're an avid reader. You just had a book club at Tennessee.
Yeah.
Why did you start the book club, and is that something you might want to do here?
So me and Josiah Jordan James at Tennessee, we really like to read, so we sort of share with each other what we're reading here and there. But it was really something instilled within me from my mom. I used to hate reading when I was younger, and every summer when school was out, she would force me and my siblings to go to the library. And then from then on, I just kind of, started to get into things I was more so interested in, and from there, my love for reading kind of grew. But yeah, there's been, I've talked to a few of the guys about it here and there. One of our managers, Coleman, we talked about it too. So, hopefully there's something in the works,
So what kind of genres do you like?
Anything really. I was big on psychology for a little bit and theology. I was thinking about starting the book, The Myth of Sisyphus by Albert Camus. So, yeah, really anything, honestly.
In terms of the differences, you talked about the offensive side of the ball in terms of the pace and whatnot, but defensively, how different is it from Rick Barnes' system to Tommy's system and just learning a whole new defensive scheme?
Surprisingly enough, the schemes are pretty similar, I would say. I think that the biggest thing is just understanding the terminology. Different coaches call different, movements and actions different things. So I think that's been the biggest thing, but I would say the philosophies are pretty similar.
You know, you mentioned when you came here as far as like maybe cutting down on fouls. Has there been any other emphasis, you know, things in your game that you know, especially over the summer when you have that extra time for individual work that you've kind of been trying to add to your game?
Right, yeah, fouling has definitely been one. Just making better decisions on the perimeter, playmaking, knowing how to read defenders and how to help my guards, you know, in the pick and roll, things like that. But I would just say, yeah, just playmaking. Also, you know, being able to shoot the 15-foot jumper and possibly extend it to three-point range as well. That's something I've been looking to improve on also.
All right, that is Toby Awaka. Psychology, mythology, all kind. He sounds like a smart kid. Way smarter than me. I couldn't be taking any of those classes in college.
I remember taking one philosophy course as an elective in college, and I was like, all right, I'm done. I don't know if I can handle a whole course based around this.
We'll have more of Toby Awaka's thoughts. Head on over just a little bit later to our website, WildcatsRadio1290.com, for the full press conference involving one of Tommy Lloyd's newest big men. We'll see how Toby works out here. He might remembered the game a few years ago when Tennessee came to town. That was a fun night. December, I think it was a mid-December game, and the crowd was into it. And that was the game that Henry Vesar kind of went off, and I thought maybe this kid's got a chance to play. And obviously, we didn't really see Henry at all last year, but that is a guy that they're going to be depending on.
I mean, you thought that at the time because it was true, and it's still true. If he would have played last year, you know, obviously Mr. Krivas has gotten a lot of headlines going into this next season, but I expect Henry Vesar to make a big impact, without a doubt.
All right, coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, we'll hear from Arizona Volleyball. They've got a big game tonight. We'll get you your Diamondbacks download ahead of 4:15 first pitch in Milwaukee against the NL Central champion Brewers. It is DK on the Sports Tip. I've got J.W. Madden. I've got Bob. I've got Priscilla. I've got Cricket. And right now, you've got sports happening here in Southern Arizona and around the world from David Avandi.
Wildcats Radio 1290. 2020 Sports.
Arizona football continues their bye week. Today was set to be the busy day for the coaching and recruiting staff. Brett Brennan mentioned earlier in the week that this will be the travel day for many of their potential recruitment missions for the 2025 class.
Yeah. So we'll get out on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and so kind of all over the place where everyone's going. So I'm excited about it because I get to see my son play, which I've missed the first 4 games or 3 games, so I get to see that. But then we'll see a bunch of the important kids that we're recruiting in this class.
Again, best of luck to Brennan's son as they have this weekend of high school football. Arizona currently has 20 commits for their 2025 class. Arizona men's basketball season is just about a month away. This year's Red and Blue game on October 4th. The team is finishing up their final prep workout with newcomer Tobe Awaka. He was talking with the media today, which you just heard. He was also asked about the team's expectations this year. The former Tennessee star saying the team isn't paying attention to a lot of people's opinions outside of the team.
Personally, I don't really pay attention to the rankings and the outside noise. I'm kind of confident in what this team is able to do and the work that we've put in throughout the whole summer and continue to put in. And I think, we have the possibility to make a Final Four and win a national championship. That's my goal, and I'm sure, the other guys in the team share that sentiment.
Arizona currently comes into the season ranked 11th in the AP Top 25 preseason poll. And there will be a change at quarterback for one of the top teams in college football. The Texas Longhorns are going to slot in Arch Manning, the son of Cooper Manning, and the top recruit of the 2023 class. He'll go ahead and start over Heisman hopeful Quinn Ewers as he recovers from an oblique injury against UL Monroe on Saturday. That's your 2020 Sports Update. We'll have more for you here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions reported Sahuarita Road west of Country Club, Sandario and Barnett and Sandario. Also some busy travel, Grant Road at I-10, Speedway at I-10, some busy travel at Speedway and Euclid. And for your weather, 93 tomorrow, 86 Saturday, and 92 Sunday. 94 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The new Lux Cravings Box from Taco Bell with cheesy, crunchy favorites, chips and nacho cheese sauce, and a drink for just $7. Try it today at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time. While supplies last, price and participation vary. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Whether you're new to Arizona or you've been driving here for decades, we all share the same roads and the same extreme driving conditions like extreme Arizona heat, extremely large potholes, some extremely flooded roads, and there's always extremely distracted drivers, pedestrians, and that guy who drives his scooter backwards into oncoming traffic. You're driving in the world's largest video game, stopping, starting, turning, heating up, and cooling down. And that's just your afternoon commute. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 award-winning locations have been helping drivers just like you get home safely for over 60 years with top quality tire brands, no hidden extras, and one low price. Jack Furrier has everything you need to stay in the game, like wheel alignments, batteries, brakes, air conditioning, service at prices that won't break the bank. Ask a neighbor or friend about Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's friendly service, or stop by, make an appointment online, or call ahead to the local's choice. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
If you have Arizona season tickets at McHale, 1290 is your radio station. Because we love the Wildcats as much as you do. This is the home of the Arizona Wildcats. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors. Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max used for adults only.
Point! Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Oh, I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
The Wildcats play here. This is your home of Arizona Wildcats football, men's basketball, and baseball. This is the home of the Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
We all know just because gifts for loved ones can look like flowers, a spa day, or maybe even planning date night. But what about something that will truly last and protect your loved ones along the way? I'm talking about life insurance. I called SelectQuote to secure our coverage and couldn't believe how easy and affordable it was. I'm 40, and my $500,000 policy was only $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. And with their same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. With monthly payments less than the cost of a bouquet of flowers, this is the perfect time to make sure your family is protected.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-596-2626 or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-596-2626. 1-800-596-2626. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona football, along with Arizona football play-by-play. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
Wait, what's the CNWT?
Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
David Amata.
Hey, that's Dragon Ball to you.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
All right, last night, the New York Yankees, number 2, Derek Jeter, number 2. The New York Yankees clinched a playoff spot. The Milwaukee Brewers last night clinched a playoff spot. And today...
Swung and ripped to right. There's a base hit. Hitting third, coming for home, Ramirez. He will score, and the Guardians are headed to October. And yes, Cleveland
Yes, you will. There's nothing better than the grand tones of Tom Hamilton on the North Coast. Woo! I'm excited about that, of course. I am from Cleveland, Ohio. So 3 teams are in. The Yankees, the Brewers, the Tribe. We'll see if any more. But we've got breaking news. Before we get to the Diamondbacks, who are playing in Milwaukee tonight, we've got breaking news in Major League Baseball. Breaking news, David Amata. Breaking news. What is that breaking news?
Breaking news, we officially have the founder of the 50-50 Club. Shohei Ohtani has hit 2 home runs today, making his total statistic lining 50 home runs, 51 stolen bases. He has entered into a stratosphere. He's already been in a stratosphere of his own, but now I want to say he's in a new planetary orbit all his own right now.
How does a guy, J-Dub, like that, who's so big, steal 50 bases in today's
Well, it's funny
Major
you
League
mention
game?
because I looked at his stats when I saw his numbers creeping up this year. About halfway through the season, people started talking about Shohei stealing bases, and I thought, I know he could pitch. I know he had power. I know he could hit for average, but I didn't realize he had wheels like that. I think 20 was his previous high, something like that. So it's not as if his whole career he's out there. Now, maybe the managers are saying, don't be so loosey-goosey on the base pass. We need you on Friday up against that, the number 1 team in our division. Maybe they needed his. They weren't risking him like twisting an ankle or something, sliding into second or whatever that might be, because he was so valuable on the mound as well. But there's no superlatives. Like, I remember Canseco 40-40 for the first time. What was that, 87 or something along those lines? I remember when that happened. The first 40-40 was a big deal. Took, 35 years later, here we are, the first 50-50. It's just, I don't even know what to say.
Well, I will tell you, it's the bigger bases that have done it. I'll tell you what, they've made it so that it's so much easier for guys to steal. No, absolutely, you can go ahead and make all the excuses that you want. Like, well, there's a reason why Shohei. No, this guy is a generational talent. He is a baseball. He's a baseball icon, and really, it's a shock.
How
of what
many
he's been able to
players
do.
in our lifetimes have ever been compared to Babe Ruth?
Very few, if at all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the truth of the matter. And even then, the ones that we did have comparison, we had years later where we said, well, I mean, were they clean when they did it?
Well, I'm blanking on his name, but like the one very large pitcher from like 10 years ago who went on a tear and like was hitting home runs every time he came up to the plate.
El Panzón,
Exactly.
Bartolo Colon.
And he was like, 100 pounds heavier than he probably could have been.
Gosh.
But that guy, I mean, I remember he had a stretch where he hit like 5 home runs in like 12 at-bats because he didn't get very many because he wasn't DHing, certainly.
No.
But, I mean, there are very few people you can talk about going out and pitching a complete game, having an ERA in the maybe low 2s or somewhere mid-2 area, and then goes out there and is clearly the best power hitter that doesn't play for the Yankees, right?
Yeah. And not to mention, I think the other part of this, too, of why we've seen Shohei with a bit more of the wheels this season is that he's not pitching. The fact of the matter is that if you have a guy that's really, in essence, your best pitcher, which is what he was in Anaheim for all those years, they're probably telling him, don't run. We need you to be as fresh as you can be when it's your turn to pitch.
Very true.
And what was the old thing we always used to see for the National League with pitchers when they would get on the base pads? Is they'd immediately put on the windbreaker because it's like, well, we don't want you getting cold out there on the base pads with the wind. And it's all these little things you don't want the pitchers to do and tire themselves out. When you get pitchers that can hit home runs like Bartolo, Carlos Zambrano, and a couple of these other guys, it was a fact of, okay, never do that again, because if you throw your hip out, pulling the bat around, it's going to mess up our rotation.
Yeah.
So Babe Ruth stole 123 bases and got caught 117 times. There's about a 50-50 ratio there. Last I checked, Shohei got caught like 7 or 8 times this season. If you think about like I don't have it right in front of me, but the numbers are crazy. The success rate of a person that large stealing bases, there just aren't. That's just not. The Ricky Henderson, Kenny Lofton era, like that's when I really started following baseball. That element of the game, the idea of taking a couple of free bases isn't as big a part, seemingly, of the offense because the numbers are so far down.
And I also wonder if the Dodgers got a bit of an advantage with that with their manager and Dave Roberts, who, if we all remember, was really a stolen base, weapon for a long portion of his career, particularly when you remember him with the Boston Red Sox during that legendary 3-0 comeback.
Didn't his stolen base lead to their title?
Yep, pretty much. And I wonder if Dave maybe gave a little bit more of a tip to show he's like, you have this ability in you. We just need to make sure that you utilize it the right way.
He's 51 of 55.
Like I said, his
on the
caught
bases.
stealing numbers that's the most insane
That's
thing to me is
insane.
how few times.
That part's insane. Unbelievable.
And that's timely, right? It's like
Yeah.
you're not taking a too big of a jump. You're obviously reading the way. And, I think think of it this way. If you are a pitcher, you might have a tendency to understand or read some of those throwing motions because you've been on the other side of it, that whole understanding all of it. But that to me just tells me that whoever's giving him the signs as to when or not to go, and then his own reading, 50 stolen bases and caught stealing 5.
51 of 55.
51,
and
so
4.
caught stealing 4 times out of
Yeah.
55 tries.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we seen guys who are leadoff hitters and center fielders
be
with
able to do
wheels
that.
with those kind
right.
of numbers?
Yeah, I mean, that those would be great numbers for a guy at the top of the order like a Corbin Carroll, somebody like that. But for it to be the big guy in the middle of your lineup, it's just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. All right, let's update you on what's happening with your Arizona Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks download.
Baseball stuff!
Speaking of Corbin Carroll, he still needs just one more triple to set the Diamondbacks record for triples in a season, but he wasn't thinking about triples in the thin air of Denver, Colorado yesterday.
A 1-0 pitch. Carroll swings. That is absolutely blasted. Diamondbacks on the board. It is 1-0 Corbin Carroll. Thank you very much.
Something they desperately need. They got off to a fast start in the first game, and they just couldn't add to it. Great to get on the board. This team loves playing ahead. Hopefully this is a sign of things to come in this day game here at Coors Field.
A 1-0 pitch. Carroll.
And so that would be the home run for in the first inning for one Corbin Carroll, and then he came up with a man on in the second inning.
There's a swing. That ball hit well. Deep to right field and gone. There's a swing. That ball hit well. Deep to right field and gone. Second homer of the day for Corbin Carroll as it's now a 5-0 Diamondback lead here in the second.
So it may not be 50-50, but it's 20-20 for one Corbin Carroll. He is the 5th player in Diamondbacks history to have multiple, because he did it last year. He had 20 homers and 20-plus steals last season. He's the 5th player to have multiple 20-homer, 20-steal seasons in Diamondbacks history. Can you name me 2 of those other
I want to
4?
say, I think Luis Gonzalez had some steals when he was there, didn't he?
That
One
would
of those
be
years?
no. Well, he may have, but he's not on this list.
2020.
One guy did it 3 times. One guy did it 3 times. The others did it twice. You might be surprised by one of the names on this list. Think someone maybe in the mold of a Shohei Ohtani. Was it Chris Young? Well, Chris Young, he's one of them. Chris Young did it 3 times. He's one of the other 3 or 4. And like I said, think Shohei Ohtani.
Oh,
Goldie. Paul Goldschmidt.
Okay, so Goldie, Chris Young.
2 more.
It's got to be one of the Upton brothers.
All in this. Well, there you go. Well, there was only one that played for us.
Well, no, but there
Did
was.
they both play
I'm
for
trying to
us?
think of which
No.
Upton played.
Oh, Justin.
It was Justin.
Yeah.
Okay, it was Justin
Uptown.
Upton.
Justin Upton did it. So Chris Young did it 3 times. Paul Goldschmidt did it once. Justin Upton did it twice. And then there's one more right before, in that era before Justin Upton.
It couldn't have been. Eric Burns?
Eric Burns.
Okay.
Very good. Eric Burns. So those are your 4 2020, multiple 2020 players in Diamondbacks history. Corbin Carroll. Now consider that. I mean, considering where he was, and you'll hear, let's hear from him talk about his season.
Always good to kind of start off the day there, both personally and as a team, put up some runs in the first and kind of have a gritty at bat. And then, left a slider middle, 3-2. And, just got just enough to get it out. If you told me, mid-July that, I'd be sitting here with that many homers, I'd been pretty incredulous. I mean, It's been awesome. It's been a lot of hard work, and just hope to keep it going.
And like we said, he needs just one more steal to match or to take the club record in that respect. Triple. One more triple to take the club record. He's sitting on 14, and he needs one more to be the all-time leader in triples in a single season in Arizona Diamondbacks history. So not a bad, I don't know, maybe he gets 20. Maybe he gets 20 homers. He's got 21 doubles, so 20 homers, 21 doubles. 20 steals, and 20 triples. It'd be hard to get 6 triples, I think, in the last 10 games. But that would be cool if he could do that, for sure. All right, joining us, the third member of our program, and her name is Cricket. And Cricket, the temperatures are starting to come down.
Yes, you can feel fall in the air in the mornings.
Yes, you can. And
Not right now.
At night too. We're starting to leave. We're starting to leave the balcony. Now I know you live in the hood, so can you leave the balcony door open or
nope.
no?
Well, first of all, you don't have a balcony.
Okay.
But I wouldn't want to leave it open.
You wouldn't want to leave it open.
No.
Can you? So like,
Mosquitoes.
are you a window open person? Like, cause you have swamp cooling right now. So how is that like? Do you have that on right now or no?
Turned it off last night. It was kind of cold.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, you have to kind of like leave a window cracked, and then there's like a big old bar in it, so nobody can get it open. Because like you said, I live in the ghetto.
Right.
Smokey's up almost every night looking for somebody.
Don't leave a window open. If you don't leave a window
Smokey
open,
would be the guy in the helicopter. Is that
Yes.
who Smokey is?
Smokey's usually always looking for somebody.
Okay.
A few nights a week.
That was kind of the case when we lived over by Reed Park. We would hear the helicopter out there on occasion, looking for the folks. And
It's
then
changed.
if it got loud, and you sometimes you see the spotlight, you're like, oh, that means
They're
somebody's
close.
in my. That means somebody's roaming around right now. I got to make sure my windows are locked for sure. But yeah, it's starting to get to those nice evenings. I think I see a patio night in my future.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you? You see a patio night in your future?
Like, you mean like going to like a restaurant patio or sitting out on my own patio?
Well, no, maybe a restaurant patio.
Sure. I mean, I feel like doing everything outside.
Are you a patio with a nice beverage kind of lady?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Why not?
Okay.
She's a
what's-
Trident kind of lady. We've already
Right,
established that.
That's true. Well, we got to get David there because he's apparently never been there, which
This is true.
boggles my mind how you could live in
Yeah.
Tucson all your life and have never been to the Trident.
I was more of a Famous Sam's guy growing up as a kid, but
Oh,
that's
yeah.
only because that was where the Steelers games were
So
played
what
before.
happened to Famous Sam's? Did they all close down, or
There's actually still one right next to me on Valencia down
I was
there.
going to say, isn't it like southwest?
Yeah.
Or something? Okay.
Most of them have been repurposed.
Yes.
So that if you go into a lot of bars, you'll see the layout is the same, but it's not. It's no longer Famous Sam.
Gone the ways of the Chewy's restaurants, if I remember
Yes.
correctly.
Yeah.
Chewy's? Oh man, I remember that. Those were. I don't know if I ever went to. I
That
think
was
I
like
did go to
Burn
one.
Fast and Fade Away because there was 0 Chewies, and then there were 1,000 Chewies, and then there were 0 Chewies again.
Then none.
See,
Yeah.
burn fast, fade away is the perfect way of describing the ones I was at because there were 2 times where my dad had to
They
like
caught
push.
on fire or
No.
something?
My dad had to push me up against the wall when we were in a booth because there was a fight that broke out at the
Yeah.
bar with me when I was a kid. I was
Oh,
like,
that's a fight term.
Yeah,
Okay, I
it's
thought
like
we were
burn
talking about.
fast.
I also knew like 6 people who worked the grill. And let me tell you, working the grill at Chewy's at 110 degrees outside,
Yeah.
that's also burn fast and fade away quick as well.
Yeah.
I bet.
All right. Well, we have a short show today, so Cricket, thanks for hanging out with us for a little while on this show, and she's getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
And from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather together. There was a fire that occurred off on the side of the road westbound I-10 approaching Prince Road. Some freeway slowing on westbound I-10 as you approach and pass Miracle Mile. Collisions reported Miracle Mile and I-10 at the I-10 frontage road. Speedway east of Swan, Sarita Road west of Country Club, and a multi-vehicle collision at Sandario and Barnett. 93 tomorrow, nice and 86 on Saturday, 92 on Sunday, 94 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all year round. Schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from your Indeed dashboard. Learn more by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen here. Join me and my compadre, Chris Brockman, every Monday on the Overreaction Monday podcast.
A 2023 last place team will win a playoff game this year.
I'm taking the Cincinnati Bengals to be that team. If you gave me two,
safe bet.
If you said two last place teams, I might say that's an overreaction. Come react or overreact with us. This one makes it much easier. Right. So thank you for making it easier.
Well, tune in next week.
Overreaction Monday, wherever you listen.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Whether you're new to Arizona or you've been driving here for decades, we all share the same roads and the same extreme driving conditions like extreme Arizona heat, extremely large potholes, some extremely flooded roads, and there's always extremely distracted drivers, pedestrians, and that guy who drives a scooter backwards into oncoming traffic. You're driving in the world's largest video game, stopping, starting, turning, heating up, and cooling down. And that's just your afternoon commute. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 award-winning locations have been helping drivers just like you get home safely for over 60 years. With top-quality tire brands, no hidden extras, and one low price. Jack Furrier has everything you need to stay in the game, like wheel alignments, batteries, brakes, air conditioning, service at prices that won't break the bank. Ask a neighbor or friend about Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's friendly service, or stop by, make an appointment online, or call ahead to the local's choice. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
In a world of chaos and high inflation, where savings are rare.
Just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I think something is happening.
There's only one place that can save you up to 40% off your favorite tobacco products. Tobacco Barn. Tobacco Barn. In a quest to unlock the key to savings, Tobacco Barn embarks upon the ultimate adventure to charge no city or state sales tax because they're on the reservation, and to save up to $3 off with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
This is not a joke.
When savings are stolen by the evil of other high-priced tobacco stores, there's only one powerful enough to resist city and state sales taxes, plus save you up to $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com. Tobacco Barn. Tobacco Barn. Hooray! And if all else fails, we can always call upon...
I'm Captain Tobacco, at your service.
My hero.
Tobacco Barn, Tucson's most epic adventure in savings. Now showing at Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia.
I'm Kamala Harris. Here's a few things I believe. Middle-class families, like the one I grew up in, they want common sense solutions. You want lower prices and lower taxes. I believe you want to just not get by, but you want to get ahead. We must create an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to get a car loan, buy a home, start a business. And I believe we can make that happen.
Kamala Harris's plan? Bring down costs by cracking down on corporate price gougers. Make homeownership more affordable for families. A middle-class tax cut for 100 million Americans. And make sure billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share so you can keep more of the money you've earned.
Instead of being focused on the politics of the past, we need to be thinking about the future and how we make it better for families like yours. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
Stay informed on all the latest news from McKale Center and Arizona men's basketball by following us on Twitter at Wildcats1290. When news breaks from Tommy Lloyd's team, we will bring it to you on Wildcats Radio 1290.
I'm Taylor Bisciotti with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Packers quarterback Jordan Love's return timetable may be a little shorter than the 3 to 6 weeks initially expected after suffering a sprained MCL Week 1. Love was back on the practice field Wednesday as a limited participant and said he's taking it day by day and is hopeful he can play Sunday against the Titans. Head coach Matt LaFleur added, "It's always great to have your quarterback out there. We'll see how he progresses throughout the course of the week." Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert is dealing with an ankle injury he suffered last week and did not practice Wednesday. Head coach Jim Harbaugh saying Herbert is feeling better and believes he'll suit up and play Week 3 against the 2-0 Steelers. The Pro Football Hall of Fame announced 167 modern-era players for the class of 2025, including 16 first-time eligible nominees headlined by Eli Manning and Marshawn Lynch. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print everything for my business. Sure can. And the quality is guaranteed? Absolutely. Plus, you'll beat any price quote. Is that right? For sure. How about this one? We'll beat it. Can you print menus, signs, and flyers? Sure can. How about blueprints? No problem. What about red prints? Not a real thing. What if they were? We'd print them. And they'd look amazing.
Now at Staples, print more, save more. Up to $150 off your print purchase. Ends 11/2. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details and staples.com/price match for in-store price match guarantee.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, let's hear what it sounded like when Shohei Ohtani made baseball history today. Hold on.
It goes! Go! 1-2. Ohtani sends one in the air. The other way. Back it goes. Gone! One of a kind player. One of a kind season. Shohei Ohtani starts the 50-50 club.
$50 home runs, 50 stolen bases. It happened in Miami. Is that good that he did it in a place where, you know, I mean, granted, they've won 2 World Series there, but would you have liked to seen that happen on the road in another venue, like maybe a more famous venue, a more historic venue than Miami?
Do they have more fire sales or more World Series victories?
I think they come.
I can't really.
They come with each one.
They got more World Series than my team does in the last 7 years. So.
Yeah, one so painfully.
Yeah, very painfully. Painfully.
But the thing is that, I mean, baseball history happens in every park. I mean, every park has some kind of moment that you can think of. This is when this moment happened.
Very simple. What's the Latin population of Miami?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, quite large.
Well, there you go.
All right. So that's a good thing because Latins like baseball.
Love
what you're
baseball.
saying. Love baseball.
Love, yeah.
There you go. All right, Arizona volleyball at home, 9-0. Let's hear from Charita Stubbs, the second-year head coach of the Wildcats, on what she is looking for from her team this weekend.
I want to win, and I want an opportunity to play put some more bodies on the floor to kind of see what they're made of and what they can do. I want to decrease the number of service errors that we make that are bad errors. Sometimes going after it is okay, but after a missed serve in front of you or timeout, things like that, we want to minimize that. And then we talked a lot about distributing the ball as well, trying to level out our offense more.
Senior Jordan Wilson, one of the top hitters on this team, and she likes the way this 24 crew is coming together.
I love the girls. We don't like losing. Like, it's very obvious that the girls, they're not there to lose. Like, they're there to show, like, to prove a point, to show who Arizona Wildcats really are, and to come back, especially from last season. Like, we all know last season was a little bit rough, but we want to come back and give our name, like, a new title of, rather than being an underdog, like, people should expect us to be great, you know, and see that the hard work that we're putting in of wanting to get better and wanting to push ourselves.
Jordan leads the team with 104 kills. She's hitting .262 on the season. She is trying to become more of a 6 rotation player, and we'll get into that maybe coming up this weekend. But she's starting to play a lot more defense for this club is Jordan Wilson. Charita Stubbs also liking the chemistry of this group so far.
The chemistry on the team is good, although I addressed it today just because they are females and, at some point they become a little catty. And it's nothing that you would see if you were just to come in the gym, but someone who's around them all the time, you can kind of address it and say the things that need to be said that they don't necessarily feel comfortable saying to one another. But we are always trying to engage them and put them in a position where they are better in that area. We struggled with it last year. We didn't address the elephant in the room nearly enough. And now because they're comfortable with one another and always are talking about different things, it's much better.
Did Rita just say that the cats are a little bit catty?
Said all women, I think is what I heard.
Something like that, yeah.
But she would know better. I mean, she's in those locker rooms, right?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. All right, I'm going to jump ahead here, J-Dub, just so you know. We'll save the 6 rotation stuff for tomorrow. But I want to hear Charita Stubbs. Again, we mentioned this yesterday. They've only played one other Power 5 conference team, and that was Alabama. Here's Charita on her scheduling.
I've really been enjoying it. It's something new to me. I did it a little bit in club. I wasn't really too active.
That wasn't our focus. For me, it was really important for us to learn how to win. So we were so close last year in a lot of matches, and then the wheels fell off. And I was like, we couldn't put ourselves in that position again because then you lose the players. And so now it's about making sure that we walked into a situation feeling comfortable and confident in who we are. And there's something contagious about winning, just like it's contagious to lose as well. And it's not really important to us who is on the other side of the net if we're achieving the goals that we've set forward.
There you go. And they are 9-0 to start this season. North Dakota State tonight with a chance to end this. They'll play twice this weekend. North Dakota State tonight, Southern Utah. So first serve tonight at 6, and then Southern Utah at noon on Saturday to wrap up the non-conference before the ladies get into Big 12 conference play on the road next weekend. That's going to wrap up our show for today. Thanks to Bob and Priscilla, J-Dub, and Dragon Ball Cricket. My name is David Kelly. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. Coming up next, NFL Thursday Night Football. Aaron Rodgers returns to MetLife, the New York Jets, and the New England Patriots. We'll talk to you tomorrow because it's almost Friday night. We'll be at CDO. Join us. Have a great evening.
The following is a presentation of Westwood One Sports. If it's the NFL, it's on Westwood One.
Watson under center from his own Cleveland 20. Gets the snap, 4-man rush, second down, 9 from behind. Ball knocked away, Highsmith. It's picked up by Watt from the 15 to the 10 to the 5. Touchdown! Pittsburgh touchdown! T.J. Watt!
Porta in motion. Here's the snap. Handoff Montgomery running right into the end zone. Touchdown Lions. Ball game Lions. David Montgomery with a 1-yard touchdown run, a walk-off.
Deep drop. Hurts looking for the long ball. Uncorks it left side. Separation. Catch made. Devontae Smith is going to go. Touchdown. Philadelphia. Off the play fake. Jackson rolls.